Hi, everybody. It's me, Shelly, with Shake It Shell. We have shaken it through the community on this Freaky Friday, and we found ourselves in Caprice Compton's office.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh boy.
So Caprice, not only is she beautiful, as you can see, she has a lot to do with the community in helping them heal. And just, we want to kind of talk a little bit about mental health and mental awareness. So tell what you do.
So I'm a clinical psychotherapist. So I do therapy essentially.
Okay.
I work a lot with patients who are suffering from trauma, PTSD,
Okay.
and all of the associated side effects from that: eating disorders, addiction, depression, anxiety, that sort of thing. So,
Wow, that's a lot. And I feel like everybody um, has something, there's something that
totally.
everybody would definitely consider trauma or struggles with,
Absolutely.
from, like you said, the eating to the depression to things like that. So
Yep.
do you feel maybe it's harder, like during the holidays, maybe things get a little harder, like in that world, in the mental wellness world?
Absolutely. I think that the holiday time, they call it the holiday blues.
Right.
There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of family stuff, and sometimes family isn't um, the the loving togetherness feeling. It's more
Right.
stress and
Right.
anxiety and brings up whatever from the past. So it can be really hard for people, especially during the holidays. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you don't mind me asking you, what kind of led you down this path, like to be in the mental wellness area?
That's a good question. So my background is in exercise. So I
Okay. Of
taught,
course.
I,
Hello.
I taught aerobics and spinning
Oh, you
and
did?
all sorts.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was a runner in college. I have been in athletics for a long time, and my mom had a pretty pervasive substance abuse problem.
Wow. Okay.
And we did a family week at the Betty Ford Clinic. And I think that was probably the first time that I was like, wow, this is really interesting. We
Hmm.
learned a lot about like family dynamics, when you have someone in your family that's an addict and how the family system works
Right.
around that. And it was really interesting. And so I had my undergrad wasn't really in this. It was business communications, but then I really got interested in going into mental health and did my graduate studies in clinical mental health.
Wow.
Um, I think for me, the most important thing is taking a holistic approach. So it's not just about sitting in an office talking about
Absolutely.
stuff, working through stuff. It's working on your mind, body, and soul. So
Right.
moving your body, getting sunlight, eating right, like starting to take care of our bodies, because our mental health directly affects how our
Mm-hmm.
bodies are functioning as well.
Right. I agree. I always, like, I've been through my own trauma and my own things, but I always feel like the outside definitely reflects how you feel inside. And I've
Absolutely.
been there, done that. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what got me on my journey, is I looked how I felt and I felt how I looked. So I can
Yeah.
totally relate to that and what you're saying, and just how it all is one. You can't have one without the other.
Right. No, you
So
can't. Yeah.
that's awesome. And so pretty much it's kind of something you experienced, like with the substance abuse, in your family directly. Like
Yep.
it was a very close connection for you.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Well, so what if there's something you can leave with people, like what would be a suggestion, or maybe just a few tips, like coming around the holiday seasons now, or just in general, like what are a few things you would say, you know, to just take care of yourself? Or maybe if you notice a few things, maybe you might want to start talking to
Mm.
somebody. Like what would be your little input when it comes to just maybe signs or maybe just tips?
Okay. I think first of all is self care. So when we are feeling down, we tend to not take care of
Right.
ourselves, and that could just be taking a shower and brushing your teeth.
Right.
That we need to treat ourselves kindly, have compassion, extend some grace to ourselves, which is really hard. I
It
think
is.
sometimes we give it all away,
Right.
right? So that would be one of the most important things is if you're really starting to feel down, pay attention to what you are doing. And sometimes that could feel like the hardest thing to do is to brush your teeth or take a shower. Um, but really taking some sort of action creates the momentum to help us feel just a little bit better.
Right.
When it comes to more serious, if someone is feeling hopeless and like there's no, when worthless and helpless, that's the time to reach out and try to get some help. That can be very counterintuitive because people feel like talking about the things that are hurting them inside will hurt them more,
Right.
but it actually helps them heal. It's scary for sure,
Right.
but it really does help them heal. And I think the last thing is connection. There's a lot of research out there that says humans, it's built into our DNA that we need connection.
Right.
So a lot of times people who have withdrawn are totally disconnected from people. And so that's another really important thing to do is to connect, find people to connect with, whomever that is. Maybe you don't have anyone in your family you can connect with, so it's a friend, it's a class, it's a whatever,
Right.
And I've seen a lot of amazing things happen in your class because of that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing because and I told this in my story as well when I kind of presented my journey where I've been, is I wanted to create a place to be yourself, to feel safe, to yell and scream, to be crazy, whatever it is, let loose.
Yeah.
And just to see that transformation, that's exactly something that can benefit everybody. And I know you had reached out to me and asked me to do if I wanted to kind of be a part of what you were doing here at the counseling center. And I said, well, you need to come try out one of my classes before you ask me if I would come. I was like, you don't even know what I do yet. And so I remember you finally showed up. What did you think? What was your thoughts?
It was, I had such a great time. I felt very intimidated, I'm not a dancer.
Yes, you are.
Well,
yeah, she is.
No, I'm not. Well, but it was the energy and let me back that up. The collective energy was cathartic. It really was. And it was, I haven't had that much fun in, I can't even remember how long. And you can't not smile when you take your class.
Right.
I'll pay somebody $100 if they can take your class.
I hope you heard that because I said the same thing. Like, I'm like, you can't, I'm like, cause I've had my own moments where I'm angry, I'm mad, I'm freaking pissed, I'm hurt, whatever it is. And I'm putting on my fake smile sometimes because I'm human too. I have my bad days too. And the music starts and I leave and I'm laughing and in a good mood. And it's amazing the difference. So like Caprice says, she'll pay you $100. Pretty much.
If you can get through without smiling.
Right. So I'll just tell you, it's been a pleasure knowing you and just the beautiful person you are and the beautiful things you do here in the community with so many people, helping them improve their mental health. And just even as a friend, like it's been great getting to know you and dancing with you and just creating that connection in that way. So again, thank you for letting us come in and talk with you a little bit. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody else will. As well, because it's great information. But I do have one more question for you.
Shoot.
Will you shake it out with me?
You mean like this?
Okay.